Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us today on the program. I'm Amarachi Ubani. Here's what's coming up on the world today. Countries around the world celebrate their entry into 2026. How about a message from space? Russian cosmonauts send their good wishes from aboard the International Space Station. Plus, Mali and Burkina Faso retaliate with their own visa ban against the United States. Let's begin the world today. And we're beginning with places around the world that have already welcomed 2026. Celebration consisting of different activities from fireworks, which is the most common, to smashing plates with your friends, to the Times Square ball drop, to dropping watermelons and eating grapes, one each time the clock strikes at midnight. So it's 12 in quick succession, representing the months of the year. Welcoming New Year is something people around the world look forward to. Let's take a look at some of the countries that have already entered into 2026. Kiribati being the first to welcome 2026. The archipelago has a population of about 116,000 people. And despite being almost directly south of Hawaii, it celebrates New Year a whole day earlier. Samoa joined shortly after. People had the ava, a traditional drink reserved for celebrations and served in a traditional cup, while people clap and applaud. There were fireworks when Auckland in New Zealand entered 2026. Though it had been raining all day, the skies cleared for the fireworks. Tonga was among the early welcomers of the new year. About an hour ago, Western Australia welcomed New Year. Sydney had fireworks displays, so did Perth, and then Queensland and the New South Wales border also entered in the New Year. And just about an hour ago, Japan, South Korea, and North Korea joined the group as well. China was also one of the early entries into 2026. President Xi Jinping, right on cue during the celebrations in China, addressed the nation with a call to citizens to continue writing new chapters of the Chinese miracle as he heralded the start of the 15th five-year plan. He told them a promising start requires a clear vision, and success demands careful planning from the outset. We must anchor ourselves to our goals and tasks, strengthen our confidence, right the momentum, and solidly promote high-quality development. We will further deepen reform and open up across the board, advance common prosperity for all, and continue writing new chapters of the Chinese miracle. The annual address traditionally looks back on key developments from the previous year, while setting the tone for China's goal in the year ahead. President Xi is one of the leaders of the influential BRICS group of nations, which has gone from strength to strength over the course of 2025, welcoming 10 new partner nations: Belarus, Bolivia, Cuba, Kazakhstan, Malaysia, Thailand, Uganda, Uzbekistan, Nigeria, and Vietnam, as well as Indonesia as a full member. The organization now covers half the world's population and a third of the global economy. And what do you know? New Year wishes coming from out of space. This came from Russian cosmonauts Sergei Nikolaev and Oleg Platonov aboard the International Space Station. Well, Mikhaev said New Year is a family holiday. Even here in space, we feel the love and support of our loved ones. On the eve of the New Year, people always hope for a miracle. So I wish you to continue behaving or believing in miracles. Be happy, be successful, move forward boldly, and create. While his other colleagues also wished everyone health, prosperity, and festive vibes, and called on each one to be kinder to each other in the coming year. All three gentlemen journeyed to the ISIS in November, while Platonov arrived earlier in the year. We're back to the Earth now. Daughter of Hong Kong pro-democracy tycoon Jimmy Lai, who is jailed in Hong Kong, is concerned about his deteriorating health, saying his fingernails sometimes fall off and his teeth are rotting. The 78-year-old has been detained since December of 2020 and faces life in prison. Earlier this month, he was convicted of colluding with foreign forces under the city's controversial national security law. Hong Kong and Chinese authorities have denied that Lai has been mistreated in prison, saying he is in good health. Speaking of prison, Thailand has released 18 Cambodian soldiers that were captured in July during deadly border clashes as part of a ceasefire that the two countries agreed on Saturday. The handover was delayed by a day over Thai concerns over alleged violations of the ceasefire, but took place after sustained Chinese diplomatic pressure to ensure the deal holds. Simmering tensions along the Thailand-Cambodia border exploded earlier this month and went on for weeks, forcing nearly 1 million people from their homes. Saturday's deal had seen both sides agree to freeze the front lines where they are now, ban reinforcements and allow citizens living in the border areas to return as soon as possible. In other news, the Israeli government is set to revoke the licenses of 37 international non-governmental organizations working in Gaza and the occupied West Bank, saying that they failed to meet requirements under new registration rules. ActionAid, International Rescue Committee, Médecins Sans Frontières, and Norwegian Refugee Council are among the 8 agencies which will have their licenses suspended on January 1st, with the operations to end within 60 days. Israel says that it had, among other things, failed to hand over complete personal details of staff. The NGOs said they could put them at risk. A move was condemned by 10 countries, which said the rules would have a severe impact on access to essential services. Staying within the Arab region, the United Arab Emirates has announced it is pulling its remaining forces out of Yemen after Saudi Arabia backed a call for UAE forces to leave within 24 hours, deepening a crisis between the two Gulf powers and oil producers. Hours earlier, Saudi-led coalition forces had attacked the southern Yemen port of Mukalla. The airstrike on what Riyadh said was a UAE-linked weapons shipment was the most significant escalation dated in a widening rift between the two Gulf monarchies. In Washington, the U.S. State Department said the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, spoke with the Saudi and UAE foreign ministers about tensions in Yemen and other issues affecting security in the Middle East. Several Gulf countries, including Kuwait and Bahrain, say they would support any efforts to bolster dialogue and reach a political solution. Qatar said the security of Saudi Arabia and other Gulf countries constitutes an inseparable part of its own security. However, happening in Saudi Arabia, a large rally held in the city of Al-Gaida, in Yemen's Al-Mara Governorate in support of the Southern Transitional Council and its forces and condemning Saudi-led strike on Mukalla port. The STC group backs a federal state of Saudi Arabia in southern Yemen. We're looking at footage to show supporters waving flags and holding pictures of the council's leadership. Saudi Arabia hit the port of Mukalla, claiming it was targeting UAE-linked weapons shipments and accused the UAE of pressuring STC into recent offenses. The UAE expressed surprise at the move, saying the shipments did not carry weapons and were intended for its own forces. The UAE's foreign ministry added that it categorically rejects any attempt to implicate it in the tensions between Yemeni parties, and it condemns the allegations it pressured or directed any Yemeni party to carry out military operations to threaten the security of the Sicily Kingdom of Saudi Arabia or target its borders. Well, back here in Africa, the countries of Mali and Burkina Faso have announced they will be retaliating a visa ban by the United States imposed on them in response to President Trump's visa ban. Two West African countries were recently placed under full entry restriction under President Donald Trump's expanded travel ban. In separate statements, they said they would apply the same measures on U.S. nationals. Burkina Faso's foreign minister said the government was acting on the principle of reciprocity, while Mali's foreign ministry called for mutual respect and sovereign equality. The latter said it regretted the U.S. move, adding that such an important decision was made without any prior consultation. Mali and Burkina Faso's decision comes days after Niger's state news agency reported that the country had imposed a similar travel ban on U.S. citizens, though no official statement has been issued by its foreign ministry to confirm this. We're off on a short break on The World Today. Still ahead. Well, here's hoping we get to it. The Calabar Festival, as well as celebrations ending the year 2025. Stay with us. Welcome back to The World Today, and let's bring it back home now to Nigeria very briefly. The Calabar Festival that held on December 25th, beg your pardon, had a lot of activities in the state of Cross River. Traders and business people said it was a huge success, as they have been smiling to the bank ever since.
While the drums fade from the daytime parades of Carnival Calabar, the celebration does not end. As night falls, Calabar comes alive with music, food, and commercial activities, extending Africa's biggest street party well beyond daylight hours. From Marion Road to the Christmas Village, the city's nightlife has become an economic extension of the carnival. Restaurants, lounges, roadside food vendors, and entertainment spots record heavy patronage as tourists and residents step out to relax after the day's events. For many operatives, nighttime business now accounts for a significant share of their earnings during the carnival season, making it one of the most profitable periods of the year.
I thank God for that. Business is moving fine, and we are making a lot of sales here.
So Calabar, the business, we are enjoying the business for Calabar, because every year we follow come this carnival, because we are enjoying the place, that's why.
Residents also commended Governor too for bringing back the spirit.
I hear it's a season of sweetness, but sweetness overdose. That's what I would say to him. Like, I feel like he brought back the dead carnival, and it's been fun. I can see people happy, excitement in every part of the streets of Calabar. So I would say, well done, sir.
The Cross River State government says Carnival Calabar is more than entertainment, describing it as a tourism product deliberately designed to stimulate economic activity around the clock.
It's actually going to help for, small-scale businesses. I tell you where I'm sitting, I actually paid some money for the seats, and of course the drinks are almost, the fun thing about Carnival, some triple on top, the kebab, everything is up. So I think it's going to boost the economy so well. You're aware that for last year Carnival, there wasn't even this app. They said made so much from it, so I can imagine what we're expecting from this carnival. It's really a bomb for us.
As Carnival Calabar attracts visitors from across Nigeria and beyond, Calabar, after dark, continues to reflect the festival's far-reaching impact, powering livelihoods, supporting small businesses, and strengthening the city's nighttime economy.
Welcome back to the studio from Calabar. Venezuela's defense minister has been warning that the armed forces will respond to any aircraft linked to drug trafficking. I was speaking during a visit to the military installation in Caracas on Tuesday. During that visit, he highlighted the destruction of 8 aircrafts allegedly associated with drug trafficking along Venezuela's borders with Brazil and Colombia. The operation was carried out by the Bolivarian National Armed Forces on Monday. He says every aircraft associated with drug trafficking will receive a response from the Bolivarian National Armed Forces because this airspace and this territory are defended and respected. He accused the United States of promoting what he described as hostile rhetoric towards Venezuela, citing remarks by President Donald Trump in which he claimed the country's natural resources belong to the United States. He said such statements had failed to weaken the country, arguing that Venezuela had instead become more unified. So, yeah, he is, well, his own version of Father Christmas. But interestingly enough, 40-year-old Noel Bonilla has a pretty unique name, as you already figured out. He's a taxi driver from Lima in Peru. He's carried the spirit of Christmas with him since he was a child. While most people know him simply as Noel, his official documents tell a different story. There, his name appears as Papa Noel, or Father Christmas, the result of a long-ago misunderstanding during his registration. The mistake happened when his father went to the National Registry of Identification and Civil Status to register his son as Noel. A warm colloquial way of speaking in the area led the official to hear something different and then write down Papa Noel. A small detail that went unnoticed for years. Noel says, "I did not notice the name. I went back to pick up my ID and I found out my name and I was surprised. Papa Noel Bonilla appears on my ID, and that's when I found out my name." At first, the name brought mockery and difficult moments. At one point, he even avoided attending his son's school meetings, afraid he would have to show his ID and face embarrassment. However, what once was a source of discomfort has now become a source of strength. Through TikTok, where Bonilla runs the accounts, the Peruvian Papa Noel, he receives messages of support that encourage him to embrace his identity and to keep moving forward.
Qué rico, ¿no?
And as we end the program for 2025, we're leaving you with these images. Hundreds of people flocking to the Shanghai mountain in China's Jilin province. So this happened on Friday, and it's the opening of the snow large-scale recreation of Cloud Top Palace in Yanbian, Korean Autonomous Prefecture. To see this massive snow palace, and believe me when I say it's all made of snow. It shows up like this in the daytime, but it's illuminated at night and accompanied by a light show and fireworks as visitors try to take photographs of the scenery. The sculpture measures about 70 meters in length, 28 meters in height, and around 50 meters in width, according to the organizers. It was constructed using nearly 100,000 cubic meters of snow. The Cloud Top Palace is considered a must-visit site in Changbai Mountain during the winter season. The attraction also holds cultural significance as a key setting in Dongyu Biji, that's Grave Robbers Chronicles, a popular Chinese novel series about tomb raiding adventures that have been adopted into film and television series and has gained a wide readership in China. Well, trust me when I say it is a scene to behold when it's illuminated at night. Thanks for watching The World Today. You've been great company all year long. I'll see you in 2026. I'm Amarachi Ubani.